What is going on with this Clemson 2025 recruiting class? Before the season started, they were hovering around, 10 to 15 range and had some good surges in the summer. But man, they have just plummeted. They have about 5 or 6 guys decommit since the start of the season, since August. And the guys that are decommitting are really highly rated guys. They've had defensive line Isaiah Campbell decommit. He was a high 4-star, number 33 on the 247, so just barely a 5-star, almost a 5-star. 4-star safety Tay Harris, the most recent decommit, number 56 in the country. Cornerback Grayson Littleton, another high 4-star, number 72. Then you got also Bryce Davis, who is an edge. He was ranked number 145. And their quarterback, Blake Hebert. Now, he was only a 3-star, but you have 4 top 150 players decommit since August. Man, that is really setting you up for a really difficult discussion. On top of that, your quarterback decommitted, and each transferred to our now flipped to Notre Dame, but you didn't have a quarterback in the class before, so now you have no quarterbacks in the next 2 classes. And when you're not active in the transfer portal, having a recruiting class ranked 30th is not going to meet the standards that Dabo has set for this Clemson program. They are going to be at a very big deficit because of this recruiting class. Now, they have a very good sophomore class right now and a pretty good freshman class, so they do have a lot of good young players. But without being able to operate in the transfer portal, having a class that's ranked 30th is not going to get you wins as you enter into the next seasons. Now, they did come up on some big news of their merging the 110 Society and IPTE that they released today. We'll see how helpful that is, but they're going to struggle with a smaller alumni base compared to some of the other behemoths of the sport, where their funds and their boosters are just going to inherently be a lot more. So rev sharing will help Clemson, but I'm not sure to the extent that they'll need it to help Clemson. But they have been missing out on a lot of these guys. And the most important guy that they missed out on this year was 5-star David Sanders. He was not committed to Clemson, but was heavily leaned crystal balled to Clemson for a very long time. He had made it very clear that he was a Clemson fan growing up, wanted to go to Clemson, and he ends up committing to Tennessee. And I think a lot of that has to do with NIL. And Clemson has not been very competitive in the NIL game in terms of getting new recruits. I think they do a fairly good job of retaining the players that they want to retain who have been productive. I think they're done a pretty good job at that. But in terms of getting new players and entering in the transfer portal and using NIL to get recruits, I think that's an area that they've just been outbid on. And it's not going to be sustainable for them in the future. They're going to have to figure out something else because their expectations are win the ACC and compete for national titles. And when you're not able to stack recruiting classes that are in the top 10 and you're competing against these other, big time programs who are consistently racking in top 10 classes, you're going to fall behind even further than you already are. So a lot needs to be done and a lot needs to change philosophically within this program. We'll see what this new structure will look like. They claim that they're going to use 75% of the funds for football, which is they're claiming to be higher than most other programs. We'll see. We'll see how much that helps, but we've seen a very steep decline in recruiting, particularly this year for the 2025 Clemson class. And we'll see if that's here to stay, if that's things to come, or if they're going to be able to flip that back around. We'll see. Follow Big Body Ball CFB on all socials.